Welcome, everyone. It's Wednesday, and it's time for the George MADIOU Show. We have an incredible group here today, and I have the privilege each week of introducing your host, the amazing Mr. George MADIOU. And today, we're all excited, everyone that knows who our guests are today. We have one who's a staple, a constant returner, and who is one of my dearest friends in the entire world as one of our guest speakers today. I'm going to let George introduce her because it's so much fun, because there's so much to say about her. And she has brought an important partner who is new. I haven't met him yet, but I've heard a lot about him. But first, I want to introduce to you George MADIOU. Now, George is, he's a phenomenon as far as I'm concerned. He is an entrepreneur consummate. He's from New York, and you'll get that immediately in his persona. He's one of the warmest, kindest, most interesting, and smartest people that I know. We've crossed paths for more than 35 years, but we've only known each other, I would say, really come to know each other. And boy, is it ever a close friendship in the last year or so. And he's a mentor, he's a coach, but most of all, he identifies as the owner of and the editor-in-chief of the Network Marketing Magazine. Now, you might think the Network Marketing Magazine is about network marketing, but it really isn't. I mean, well, it is kind of, but what that magazine is out to do is shift the thinking about the distribution system of network marketing worldwide and shift its image in the world by providing a professional tool that anyone can subscribe to for only $9 a month. Please, if you're coming on the call, please manage your microphone. So George is getting ready in June to release his 200th consecutive issue of this magazine. And one of our guests today has graced the
Russ, you're muted somehow. You got muted by accident.
Right in the middle of my introduction too. So this is what I was saying. I was saying that George is getting ready to release in June the 200th consecutive issue of the Network Marketing Magazine. I don't know if you heard what I said about it before, but it's about, the intended result is to shift the thinking and the image of network marketing worldwide to make it the powerful system of this distribution that it is. And so for $9 a month, you get the greatest sales tool you could ever have. And yes, that's an ad. So without any further ado, because we've got a big agenda this morning, I'm going to introduce to you the incredible, the irrepressible Mr. George MADIOU. George? Get your mic.
I said my head is spinning. I can't, I need a recording of that. I appreciate what you said, Russ. I'm so excited about this show. I was so excited about it that I live in Florida, east coast of the United States, and I was up at 5 o'clock this morning to have a call with Gisela Jabin, and she is just one of my best friends, just an incredible person. She is a person that for the first time on the George MADIOU Show ever, anybody has been on the show 3 times. And we could just make the show all about gas, but I'm really excited about the fact that Gaz has introduced me to a great guy, Christian Wiesner, that most of you people, if not all, already know. But I had the pleasure of meeting him a couple of days ago. We had a great conversation. I feel as though we became instant friends. When we talked, I explained to him what the George MADIOU show is all about. Is a conversation between, good friends with a bunch of people listening in. So I'm glad you all are here to do just that. I found out that my new friend Christian is a network leader, CEO and founder of international companies for more than 30 years. I'm not sure. He looks so young. He must have started off in the business when he was like 13 or something. But he started with NSA and Juice Plus in the early 90s, became one of Europe's youngest income millionaire. He is a dedicated team builder with a track record of building teams of more than 2 million partners and customers. What I like about him is he's a passionate coach. He's been an upline of million-pound earners, famous leaders in Europe. I'm so thrilled to have met this man. He's a legend. And so one of the things that Gaz has really introduced me to is as a result of Christian spending a lot of time in Asia during those rough couple of years with the virus, he discovered the power of new social commerce that's taking Asia by storm. So what does a serial entrepreneur do when he ends up loving an idea? He ends up taking it and running with it, right? And so with his family, he started ShopWithMe and is the CEO and CSO of the company with a mission of ShopWithMe to generate a modern video-based social commerce community. And it's my pleasure to introduce to you my new friend and fellow entrepreneur, Christian Wiesner. Welcome to the show, Christian. We're gonna have to unmute you.
Oh, now I can. Okay, I can myself. All
I
right.
hope you could see. Hope you could see the applause. You can't hear it, but I hope you could see it.
Yeah. No, that's okay. Thank you so much, George. I'm already, as a young man, I read John Milton Fogg, The Greatest Networker of All Times. You told me the story behind it and who really is the guy, right? So I'm so proud to be here and meet him live, right, in real life. So Russ, big appreciations from my side. You've been a hero already before I was 13, as George said. When I was a young man, I read that books. I read, Don Feyer, Tom Schreiter, all the great books. And he works right now with us. Tom is a good friend and a contributor to our company. And he and Gazala and me and my ex-mentor, or my mentor actually, but first mentor, Marcus Strachowitz, who was a crown ambassador from Amway, is also there. So we just joked with Gazala, right? Of course, this is a new business, but we don't need to be 20, to lead the business. I think sometimes experience mixed with new technology can make the winning game. And I'm very happy to be here. I'm very happy to meet you first time, Russ. And I'm very hopefully, if George, really meant what he said, I will be happy to contribute to the magazine, online, offline, I don't care. As much as I can, because I think there's a lot to say for this industry and a lot to do, and we can improve this beautiful baby so much. It's still a baby, and there's so much future ahead of us if we do things right. So I'm very happy to be here. Thank you so much.
Well said.
Yeah, that's absolutely terrific. There's just so much to talk about. I want you to maybe not so much a lot of the guests that we have, but we have a huge audience that here in the US, it's either noontime on the East Coast or 9 o'clock in the morning. So we don't get the opportunity to speak to over 100 people, but we have hundreds of people that end up listening to the recording. So I think what I'd like to do is I would like to have you start off with explaining this concept of the new social commerce.
Yeah, I'm happy to do so. What I met, what I realized in my career as a networker and as a CEO as well, that we, for a long time, we did our best, like MLM, right? We had valuable products and we did good service in the D2C world. And we were selling this in people's homes with the home shopping. And I'm an old school networker. This is how I learned it, right? Contacts on the street, home shopping in the living room. So I'm an old school guy, as to say, young looking old school guy. But when I went to Asia, I saw that, real new D2C, which we don't understand as networkers sometimes, that this is really our competition. Not Amway is not my competition. Herbalife is not my competition. Shopify is, Pinduoduo is, Amazon is, because they are also direct to customer. They also serve the customer directly, and they were growing 10,000% the last 10 years. And MLM was growing less than 50% in the last 10 years. And I'm a very, very ambitious guy. I'm extremely competitive. And that was so frustrating to me to see Jeff Bezos making 400 billion and more than all our industry together. And when I was in Asia and I realized this new business trend, social commerce, where people have to come together, do something together, like shopping together, communicating together, and then saving a lot of money. And I saw those guys do 400 billion, like Shopify and Pinduoduo, after 5 years do the same, like Amazon is doing after 30 years. I said, that's my horse. That's my horse. Doing things together, that is MLM, that is us. This is what we need to do. This is our chance to fight, the dark power Amazon back. We have to get back on the horse and be proud and not be happy for a billion. Don't get me wrong. I'm appreciating a billion when I see it. But hey, if we can have the chance to overtake Amazon and take our territory back, I'm in, I'm all in, right? And that's when I came back so excited. And when I called up Gaz, and she's not easy to get, right, to communicate, as we all know. So I took me 3 months before she would even listen to me. But I'm a very persistent man. This is what you have to know about me. I never give up, right? So I can fall off the horse 20 times. I'll get 21 times and be extremely motivated. Like Rocky Balboa said, it's not about how much you can hit, it's about how much you can take. So I can take a lot. And then Gazella would give me all the reasons why she couldn't talk to me. No time, I'm busy, I'm on holiday, this, that. I said, listen, you're worth it. I'm gonna wait. But when we talk to each other, and I shared that vision that we can take our territory back, that we can make an honest, competitive business for millions of people building their own business, but in the online space, really being competitive against Amazon, against Shopify, against Pinduoduo. It took her 10 minutes to say, I'm all in. Give me a nice position where I have, where I have power. I want some power. I say, you don't want some power, you get a lot of power. Yeah, you got to be BDM. She's our only BDM from day one. Everybody else needs to qualify. I was so convinced about her quality and how her talent and her integrity. Yeah, that I say immediately, listen, we're going to start this together. We're going to make this big together. So social commerce, in a very, very short way, George, is a lot of people shopping together and saving 30 to 90%, which normally goes into advertising and middle cost. And the company that did this before us, our benchmark, is not coming from the US, not coming from Europe. It's a Chinese company, Pinduoduo, who did 250 billion euro doing exactly this concept in 5 years' time. Yeah, 80% of the Chinese shop at that platform. It's the biggest platform now in China. So that's when I said, we want to be first in the Western world and we want to make this big, but we have social commerce with an MLM model on top. So a bonus plan on top where everybody can benefit from this. That's what we want to do. And together with Gazala and other great trainers like Tom Schreiter and others, we're going to make this big and show people MLM is not selling starter kits. This is how we all started because we didn't know better, right? But it is about making customers. And if you have a company that has really good products, you know it if they have 90% customers. If they don't have 90% customers, something's wrong, right? And this is what we can do with social commerce. I believe we're going to have 98% customers from our numbers because the social commerce model is making this possible. Yeah, that's it.
That's great. That's great.
Thank you.
And it's so true that without customers, it's just, what did you call it? Stardust.
Yeah.
It's, it's meaningless. And the concept is just incredible. It's incredible. So let's keep on going. Tell me the steps that you went through to start Shop With Me.
Well, very easy. It's a family business, so my family owns it. I just work in the company. I'm a CEO. I get salary, but of course, it's a family company, so we do all of this together. And of course, we planned this together and brought this to stage. We already launched now. This is really a coincidence because we launched here now 3-4 days ago, right? So we are fresh started. And I told people, listen, normal companies, they have to work 10 years and still they're not on the George MADIOU show. We're 4 days in the run and we are already on the best show ever online with the greatest publisher that I know on the market. So it's a huge, huge honor for us. We didn't show anything yet. We are like Elon Musk before his first car, right? He's still sitting on the flip chart and drawing his electric car. But we're very serious. Everything is ready. We're not promoting something that maybe comes in 5 years. So everything we do it fast. We do it reliable. We are Germans, right? So we focus very much in keeping our words. So this is what we do. Everything is there. Company started. We're launched all over Europe. And now we're going full power. And then, of course, the goal is in the next 2-3 years, go to the biggest markets in Asia and into the US to make sure we have a good expansion plan. And I can only tell you now, I will not tell you the details, but I can tell you now, we will be faster in the US than somebody might think, because once this is growing, you have to make sure to keep your territory, right? To keep your idea. So but first of all, we want to do our homework in Europe. Do your homework first. Show that the principle works, make sure you deliver good service to your first leaders. And once this is done, then go everywhere and take the market by storm.
Well, I'm excited about watching you, helping you. I believe in exactly what you're doing. You couldn't have picked a better person for Europe than my buddy Gazala Jabim. And so, I have no doubt that where you're going, when people with a vision like you have, Christian, B words isn't scary. Billion is not scary. Right now, there are people all over the world that's afraid of thousands or are struggling for hundreds.
I love the T-word, trillions.
Trillions, there you go.
I love that one.
So,
social commerce is a 3 trillion market. That's why I got excited.
Yeah, it's incredible, your vision, and it's exciting to have met you just a little while back. It's always exciting to chat with you. It's exciting that you bring over 100 of your friends to hang out and listen to our conversation together. You're my kind of guy, So the congratulations on the launch. I'm so happy to have you on, and that's great. I wanted to ask Gazala, if she has anything that she would like to share, because I just love listening to her.
You mean I can speak?
Yes,
Oh,
you
well.
can.
They let me into the room. They're now letting me speak. You mean you've unleashed the gazala into the house? First of all, I just got to say, George MADIOU, a legend that you are, a humble guy that you are, and you spotlight everybody else. And I just got big, big love and respect for you and Debbie as a team for what you've served in our industry and shining your light throughout consistently through all the challenges and everything that people go through that can be beaten down and everything. But you've really stood the test of your time in highlighting success stories and the wonderful, amazing things that have inspired people like little old me out in this space that I've actually learned and I've grown. And the magazine that you've shared, all the learning to help us to grow to become leaders of today. And that's the first thing I want to do. So big respect and kudos to you and Debbie on the Network Marketing Magazine. I would like to move on to the guy that helped me many years back, that he always puts me on the biggest pedestal, one of my biggest cheerleaders ever, from my heart to his heart, the one and only, the legendary Russ Divan, because I have massive love for him for what he is. And when I told him that I'm about to enter into the world of social commerce online with a guy I hardly know, and how do you feel about it? And he gave me his blessing. He says, Gaz, whatever you touch, whatever you do is going to be amazing. And whoever gets the chance to be able to work with you is going to be in a very fruitful position because of what you bring to the table. And it's kind of that lovely, that is my go-to person, Then I say, hey, and we've cried, we've laughed. And for those that know the story of Russ and I, we've shared many a journey through emotions of highs and lows in every aspect and every corner of the world that we've shared and supported each other. So he was absolutely thrilled for me. And today to have in his Zoom room and his intro, the whole thing happened because Russ created this whole thing, and the George MADIOU show, and then the people and the industry and all the write-up through the years, and kind of like the man that's been around the block many times over and still rocking the show hugely. So big love and thanks to Russ for that. And the two girls here on standby, I was Stacy and Cody in the house watching and monitoring and doing the support to back up a great show. Big love to you girls, because I know you are also our big cheerleaders and fan base, and you always got our back, and we love you for that one. Now I want to move on to the man that actually did find a lot of struggle to get a hold of a conversation with me. Even he did, and I look back at the conversation, I felt so rude actually when I look back at the times when he was so nice to reach out to talk to me about something, and I just didn't even have the time. But when I did take the time, I will share with you that Christian Wiesner is an incredible human being, because one of the things he actually brought back to me that I had felt I lost a little bit was the absolute go-getter mindset of I absolutely roll the sleeves up. We got a job to do, something exciting is buzzing. And when you finish talking with him, you suddenly want to get on the next horse and then just absolutely just get on it and race away to the kind of finish line, because that's the energy that he brings to the scene every time. And I love the energy that he does, but also the bigger vision. But in addition to that, his good heart. Because when I realized where his heart is, and he wanted to make so much of a difference to so many lives and not be overpricing this crazy, doing this, what makes it difficult, he wanted to put in place. The more people can get involved, the more people we can change their lives with, the more that he can actually contribute, the more he can offer to do bigger. And so when I looked at that, it took me, even though it took 3 months for us to have a conversation, it took me 10 minutes to say, you know what, I'm all in, let's do this. Because I felt that time had come to say, it's time that we as leaders, whatever we've bagged for all these years of learning, growing, the pitfalls, the here, there, and through the wrestling match, and every challenge that one is faced with in this industry, and we know the ins and outs of it all, but to get back on there and to say, you know what, let's grab it with both hands. Let's run riot with the whole thing and disrupt the industry. And I will say, Christian, that one thing you and George have that actually excited me was the word disruptive, right? Because when I spoke to George, he said, we want to disrupt this industry. We want to shake things up a bit. We want to wake people up a bit. Let's just kind of prod and poke a few people and wake them up and say, oi, you business person, or are you just sleeping at this? Are you just playing at this? Because we're running with the runners. And when Christian said the same sort of thing to me as well, as we are here to disrupt the industry, disrupt the scene, and do things in a different way. One most important thing of those two things they said was alongside the porthole that we all went through from lockdown. When the world stood still, everybody was in a shutdown, standstill, what's next? Having been churned through this 2 years within that, and then we kind of been spat out at the other side of it, we're here now in that disruptive space, and what a wonderful way to be able to showcase, highlight, and I'm very honored to be on this show amongst these wonderful, amazing partners of ours, which I want to acknowledge all my teams and organization and the people that cheerlead the Gaz on the scene as well, and also to be the BDM for Shop With Me with Christian and his vision, and to be supported by my dear friends here, George, Russ, and Debbie, and everybody else in here as leaders as well. So we got our job set to do, and thank you so much, George, for having us on the show to bring this to light, that time has come to, our calling is here to make the change, and we're ready. Back to you.
Well, no, thank you. I gotta share just a personal story that happened this morning. I apologize for keep on rubbing my nose. Ghazala and the president, who's my wife Debbie, were up, and they were doing an interview, and I got beat up. So I have this bloody nose that I can't get rid of. But I want to acknowledge Debbie. She is a entrepreneur's wife. So if you're prone to pray, I would like you to pray for my wife, Debbie, because she's the wife of a serial entrepreneur, right? And she is one of the best people that I could have placed and asked to become the president of the company. And she turned right around. One of the first things that she did was she said to me, I asked Ghazala to be my coach. What a great thing. So I just want to acknowledge that. What you all have in your program, Shop With Me, is going to be such an incredible disruptive force in business today. One of the things that we have, and there's a bunch of people on the show today, that we started something called the Lifetime World Leader Program. And what that was all about was to bring people from all over the world to help shake up the network marketing industry, because it's one of the most honorable professions that anybody that wanted to be in business could really do and do successfully. And so, Christian, I really admire that you're taking even a larger step in that direction. And it's just awesome to have you here, especially have you here on your launch week. And I'm a huge fan already. So anyway, one of the things that I wanted to ask you is, as you open up Europe, what is your strategy to be able to take just common folk like you and I, to become successful in their own business? What is it that is your strategy for that?
Well, I'm a very, very big fan and always a promoter of very, very close training of new people, because we all know the 3 stages of a new distributor, which first stage is baby. And mother knows the most important thing about a baby education is just don't leave your baby alone, right? Don't leave it alone. That's the number one thing, So take care, right? You don't have to be super smart or read great books. Just be there for your baby. I think that's, I'm not a mother, but I'm sure that is the #1 rule. And in network, especially now when the business went into online, more and more leaders, they think if I just recruit enough, I don't have to take care for anybody. And then those people just evolve because we see who has the talent. And yes, people need some talent and need some hunger for success and everything of that. But I believe, like a small tree, when it's growing, it needs some assistance till it is strong enough to stand itself there, right? So what we are doing in Europe, what is very, very important for us, we implementing two things. Number one, we take care for our new people. We have a very dedicated support and training system where people, even if they're online, they always have somebody to talk to. We have regularly starter training, leadership training, momentum lying training. So there's a lot of training going out there because we believe everybody's like a little tree, like a little baby, and you got to nurture him as much as possible to make him grow. And that is the first thing. So support and training system. And the other thing, which is also a very, very exciting thing, and I worked with a company actually from the US together, but I'm not telling you how and who, but it is a very, very exciting company that is developing technology based on AI, artificial intelligence. And what we're doing, we're building a tool, an app, a software for beginners to make them professional networkers in record time, to take away all the pitfalls where they can fall in, right? All the things they don't know, what should I do? It's not directed learning. It's really artificial intelligence that help you to contact the right people in the easy way, to find the right people in the easy way, to recruit and duplicate in the easy way. And that was one of the reasons I say, Ghazala, those guys are smart, but we are more smarter. We have the experience to fill that technology with our knowledge, right? So you have to fill the high tech. And from us, Ghazala and me, we are the high touch. Yeah, so we bring the high touch to the high tech, and together with the high touch and the high tech, we can grow this very, very big and give people a home, really a home where they have a chance to succeed. Yeah, I'm very sad. I'm proud for the success of the industry, but I'm more sad for the people that we lost. That there's so many people that disappeared, so many people that failed. And I'm not a fan saying, yeah, they were not the right people. Everybody can become successful. It just take care a little bit. And somebody is quicker, somebody is, slower. And we just want to make sure that along the way, with the easy bonus plan, with a great success system, with as best possible tools on the market, we lose as little as possible. Yeah, for me, it's important, right? Like a shepherd, you don't lose any sheep. If one runs away, you go back after the one and get it back on course. If it runs too fast, you can't get it, you can't do anything. But if there's any chance, I hate losing sheep. Yeah, so for me, I see myself, I want to be the business owner that is having the most number of active people, the biggest number of earners, not probably the #1 earner. That could be also okay. I have no problem with that. But more likely, my goal is to produce 1 million people earning $50,000 or euros per year and plus. Yeah, have a real business for everybody, not one business for #1 of business for home and the rest is dying. I don't want that. I want the business for everybody where everybody can succeed. This is how we build Europe. We will put a lot of effort in that. And once we know that we're doing it good, then we come and with your support, hopefully change the way the Americans do it, the Asians do it. Asia is even more crucial. They really recruit like crazy people, but they don't, not really in the M&M industry, what I learned there, they don't really take care for their people so much. And I really want to change this attitude towards new people. They're not just walking starter packs. These are human beings. They have dreams, they have hopes. And our duty, is like, if you have them in your business, it's like a child, it's like your sheep. You're the shepherd. So take care for your sheep, right? Take care for your child and make sure everybody gets a chance. So that's our goal.
Training, like you said, is so essential. And the application of training is really the most powerful thing, because there are a lot of people out there that call themselves a trainer, right? There's a lot of people that call themselves coaches, right? But tying it together and applying the wisdom of the ages from people that have written for our magazine, Jim Rohn and Zig Ziglar and Tom Big Al Schreider and Dennis Waitley and all of these giants, right? The thing is that a lot of people have copied them, but had no idea how to apply what they were teaching. And I'm going to put a plug in for my very best friend who truly, truly was the person that John Milton Fogg wrote about in the character of the greatest networker in the world, and that's Russ Devan. There is an article that appears in this month's issue, the May issue of the Network Marketing magazine, and another one for our 200th issue next month, and a third one in the July issue that Russ wrote in 1993. And when I talk about wisdom of the ages, it is as fresh today as it was back then in 1993. And so, Russ ended up doing a commercial for the magazine to begin with. I'm going to end up doing a commercial. What I've been saying to new people is, look, sign up for the magazine. It's $9. You get it for a month. Read all the articles, but read Russ's article on team building this month. You'll have access to all 199 issues. Read them all if you can do it in a month, right? And then quit if you don't want it anymore. But this is a resource. And what we have in our hands is literally the top of the top. And so my plug for my buddy Russ, the greatest networker in the world, is this is a guy that the people in Shop With Me really needs to get to know, because if you want million euro earners around, there's no better person to be able to teach that and guide that than Russ Devan. So there you go, Russ. I'm done with my commercial for you.
Well, I wouldn't even dare to ask, but this is an official invitation, Russ. If there's any time you have, I'll be happy if you can, participate in our training program if you have time for that. I think Gonzalo will have, but I would not even dare to ask. So you just think about it, and you don't have to answer now. But give me any time and answer. We would be happy to.
Listen, my time is your time, and I am here to serve you. And I adore my guys, and I'm yearning to be part of what you're doing and helping to make it a success. And I would be honored to have any type of participation in making this work. And I had to say, I've been sitting on my hands trying to not talk, I just have been listening here, and there's so much to comment on. I want to go back for a minute to Gaz talking about being a disruptor, and I like to think, I've thought of myself in the network marketing space as a disruptor for more than 32 years since I started Success by Design. That's why the title of my book, which is about the last 40 years in this business space, is called The Skunk at the Lawn Party, because that's really what I am, is the proverbial skunk when it comes to how network marketing is being taught and done for the most part. Now, Christian, one of the things that just blows me away, and by the way, I want to acknowledge everyone here that's here. I have watched, just with one eye glancing, as the number of participants on this call has gone over 100 and up to as many as 112. Now it's floating around 107. I got to tell you, that's a huge milestone. That right there tells me something that just speaks volumes about what you're doing. Secondly, I want to say something about, early on in the conversation, you were talking about the importance, your observation, and the importance of customer acquisition. The drum I've been beating for 32 years is that without a product or service to the consumer, you don't have an opportunity. There is no opportunity unless there is a product or a service that has value to the consumer. And anything that's not based on that isn't real or is illegal.
Yeah.
So you're already starting in something that people like Jeff Bezos have found out a long time ago. And you also mentioning, that his earnings are double the size of our industry. I've always thought it curious. I don't know what the latest figures are, but I've always thought it curious that 200 billion, that's a big business when you talk about network marketing distribution worldwide, if that's actually the figure. But what doesn't work for me is that it's estimated, particularly since the pandemic, and more people are even considering network marketing as a home-based business opportunity, that it's estimated there will be 300 million people participating. Well, that tells me that with that kind of volume and that many people participating, how it's being done and taught isn't working.
Correctly.
So you go to what's missing. And another thing that you said, I've just been listening. I've had so much fun just listening to you. But I say, and George also touched on this, about, people can't get their head around $1 billion, and now we're living in a world that's talking in $1 trillion markets and industries. And for the benefit of this crowd, I just want to give you an analogy that helps you get how important and big that is. But instead of talking about $1 billion or $1 trillion, like we're always hearing, I want to put it in the context of time. So you get a sense of how much $1 billion is and then how much $1 trillion is. If we take time and we take seconds, how many seconds have been spent here? But just think, 1 billion seconds ago, Jesus Christ walked the earth. 1 billion seconds ago. 1 trillion seconds ago is 32,000 years. 32,000 years. Now you're talking about $1 trillion markets, $1 billion markets. Just think what's possible for us, the 106 people that are attending this call, to create together. What can we do together? What paradigms can we break? What belief systems can we challenge? What can we disrupt next? Okay. And I got to tell you, I'm just happy and honored to be at the dance. I'm so proud to be here. And I love Gaz Jabin. I have for, I can't believe it's been 22 years. She's been a best friend and a dear person in my life. And I would follow her through hell on Sunday. Okay. And there's another such powerful, there are many powerful women here, but I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge another new powerful woman in my life. Someone who is a sales master, an author, an incredible person, but tough as a boot. And I mean that only with the most respect. And that's Stacy Hall. Stacy, what do you think of what we're here for today? What do you think about all this?
As a boot. Vegan boot, I hope. Don't want to be killing no animals.
Yeah.
Well, when I say tough, actually, what I think about is a question for Christian. Actually, that's why I had my hand up. So first off, Russ, thank you for the glorious acknowledgement. George, thank you for creating the environment, you and Debbie, because I want to say something about the Network Marketing Magazine. And then Gaz, thank you for your lovely acknowledgement. George and Debbie, for me, have created an environment called the magazine because it's online. I used to tell my downline, I still do, that whenever I would go to my company's convention, it was like getting 5 years of knowledge in 5 days. To me, that's what every issue of the Network Marketing Magazine is. No fluff, completely, like if I'm struggling with any question, I want inspiration, I need motivation, all I have to do is tap into the magazine. And I want everybody to know that I'm very thrilled to be one of the world leaders helping to disrupt this industry, along with George and Russ and Carla, and I think Marla's here, all the world leaders who, as Stephanie, I know for sure is here, Elaine and
Gaz.
Mike and Gaz. Yes. So we're growing in numbers, and I'm very happy to be locking elbows with all of you. Christian, you're going to be through this organization, as we all are, you're definitely out to bring in people who may never have been in network marketing before. What is the very first piece of advice that you would give to somebody who's brand new?
Somebody's very new to the whole industry, not just to our business.
Yes, new to the whole industry.
Yeah, I would say, really lean back and think what you want from this business. Make a decision. This is not just a quick join business. This is not just a quick opportunity where you just, send some dollars and then sometimes go to the presentation. So I take responsibility for both sides. I'm a very, very clear person that tells people on the upline side, you have to take care for your partners, but also on the downline side, you have to take this business serious, and you don't have to know everything immediately. So don't study product books. It's not about knowing everything about how to build the ship, but it is important to know why you want to travel the sea. So I tell people, before you learn bonus plan, not important. Before you learn products, not important. Before you learn the history of network marketing, for sure not important. The only thing that really is important is your reason, your why you really want to join this industry, because this is special. This is not a side job. This is not an extra income. If you treat it like an extra income, you're probably out before you know. You have, even if you have part-time, you have to be full heart, right? So I say part-time is okay, but you need to be full heart. And that's why I say, don't join for your upline. Don't join for your brother, sister, mama. You got to join for all yourself. So you have to find your personal reasons. Take time, lean back. I teach this every week in our starter trainings, and understand why this business is the answer to your wishes, to your prayers at night, to your values. People run around and they're so unhappy, not because they're poor. They're unhappy people in rich countries as well. It's because they don't live according to their values, right? And if you understand that this industry can help you to live according to your values, you can have more time, you can help people, you can support people, you can be a teacher, you can be a coach, you can be everything. You can start a new life, literally a new life according to your dreams. Nobody will hold you back. Nobody can. And I want people to understand that before they go into the arena. That's why we train this every single week. Know your why, understand who you can become, and start serious, not with a lot of money. That's not what we mean. We don't have big starter kits, not with a lot of commitment with time, because 99% start part-time. But part-time, yes, okay, but full heart. So open your heart, let this industry into your heart, let it grow, and then you have a chance for success. So that's my best advice I can give you. And by the way, I didn't learn it by myself. I learned it from the best networker of the world. If you read that book, right? So Russ, back to you.
Listen, I just want to make sure, and Stacy, I know you had the floor. Please continue, but her hand's getting tired. Cody's had her hand up.
Yeah, no, go ahead. I was very happy to hear about the core values.
Yeah. Great. So go ahead, Cody.
All right. Hello, Christian.
Hey,
First, I wanted to say thank you for showing up for your passion and purpose and helping bring the change back to the people. So thank you for empowering people to be able to do that. I love Russ, Stacy, George, Ghazala. I'm so blessed to be a part of this whole thing. But my question is, this is a pretty big thing that you're doing, and it's amazing, and you're leaning in, which I love. So what were some of the things that you came across, if there was any fear or like these little moments that you were experiencing that you leaned into? What was your method to get through that when you're talking things on such a big scale? How did you manage those spaces?
Well, I do two things. I read books and I pray. These are my two things I do. So if you fear, you read books. I read biographies mainly. So if you read the books about Elon Musk, if you read the books about Jeff Bezos, you know that they failed along their way to success. So they were not perfect, right? You don't have to be perfect. I think the biggest fear of people is they don't dream of big things because they think they're not good enough. But actually, Elon Musk wasn't that great. Jeff Bezos did so many mistakes. If you read about Amazon Fresh and how many years he needed and what crazy, stupid ideas he had in the beginning, but still he had such a success. So being big, being successful doesn't mean do everything right. Take away the pressure from you that you have to do everything perfect. Try a lot, and then you'll find your answer. Nobody knows before. Every scientist works like, try and find the solution by many tries, try and error, and then eventually we'll find it. And the next thing is, of course, I'm a Christian believer, so I believe by professional. I'm a professional believer, as I believe and I pray, and I get answers, and I get, I get empowerments. And if you get this every morning, if I have a big problem or if I have a big every situation, even when I talked to Gazala before, I said, pray, Father, give me the right direction. He said, go on, run, go on. Eventually she'll open the door and say, I talked 3 months to that lady. She never comes back. He said, go on. So you just get to listen, if you connect to the greatest source of this world, if you know who he is, and if you have connection to his power and you have trust in him, you can stay relaxed when times are not easy. So I'm used to that. I'm now a believer since more than 20 years. I have my walk with God since 20 years. I had a not easy upcoming when I was young. So I have a past, and I know when people say I'm saved, for me, I'm literally saved. You know what I mean? It means something to me. It's not just a word. And therefore, I have experience. I walk I walk this walk for more than 20 years as a believer, 30 years as an entrepreneur. And if you have a lot of experience, it's like in football. If it's halftime and you 3-0 back, but you can do it and you trust in your abilities, you don't go nervous, right? You go out there. I'm a Liverpool fan, right? We beat Barcelona 4-0 in the game back, right? And that's how we became Champions League winner. So trust yourself, trust your abilities, don't get nervous. Connect to strong people, and if you are believers, connect to God every day. Connect to a source that gives you power, and that can be also people. Like Gazala gives me a lot of power. Our leaders give me a lot of power. We have the best leaders in the world already. Such a fresh company. We have such a high quality on people already in business that sometimes I'm like, wow, I'm already blessed. We did not even start it, and we're already blessed so much in this company. So I'm very, very happy. And yes, there will be always not easy times. But again, keep cool. Remember the tough times you already survived and overcome in your life. Connect to your power, and everything will be good.
I love that. Thank you. It's like faith and fail forward.
yeah. Trust. It is like that. It's like that. Every day you wake up and you fail 20 times and you win 5 times. If you just wake up in the morning and you go to your job, you go to your desk and you do your, whatever happened yesterday, have the same passion every day, right? I read, I don't know who said that, but I read a very, very nice quote, like passion means no matter the results of yesterday, you're fully motivated today. And that is passion. A lot of people call themselves passionate, and if they have a bad week, bad day, they get frustrated and angry and negative and itchy. And I'm not like that. I'm always positive. I'm always full power. I'm always all in, because I know shit happens, shitty people happen as well, but it doesn't matter, right? They're all people. In the end, they're all people. They have their own problems. So it's not about us to criticize negative people. It's more to understand and still love them for who they are, because everybody has a value anyway, right? So that's how I do it. I have to say so sorry. I have to go now because my Germans, I love them very much. They have a presentation. I have to open up now the seminar room. I already announced that I have to leave a little early. So please give the last 5 minutes to Gazala. And thank you that I was allowed to be here and speak with you. And Russ, I take this invitation serious. I will contact you and I will already start promoting you as one of our trainers. And you let me know what you want, and I'd be happily contributing your magazine in any kind, in any way, what you like, no problem at all. I would be extremely honored to be a part of this. You don't know what this magazine means to me, because I read the book, The Greatest Network, as one of my first books in my first year. And this books, Yeah, with Tom Schreiter and this book together, it's changed millions of people's life, maybe without you knowing. And if this is my
Well,
chance to give back, I will be
hope-
happily doing so.
I hope you leave with this thought. You're the greatest networker in the world. That's
No,
the
no, no,
message
no.
of the book.
I'm not.
The
You are.
message, the
I'm on the
message
way.
of the
I'm on the
book,
way to help people.
but the
Thank you, Russ.
message of the book is not
Thank you so
that
much.
there is a greatest networker in the world. It's that you are. And that's
Oh,
for
okay.
all of you. And I
Yeah, I got
am
it.
honored by the recognition that George has given me for that. And thank you. Thank you. I can't wait to be new friends and to create
You
something
are.
together. Yeah.
You are. You are. Thank you, George. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Debbie. Thank you, Cody. Thank you, Stacy. Thank you, Russ, Gazella. Thank you so much for everybody and to all our leaders. Thank you also for participating. We could have been easily 400 to 500, but my German-speaking leaders, they don't speak English. So this is only the international team, which is a little bit smaller. So next time, if we have German translation, you can be sure we're going to bring 1,000 people for the next interview. So no problem with that.
Thank you.
That's
Thank
great.
All the best,
Thanks
my
so-
friends. Talk soon.
Thanks so much, Christian.
Thank
We'll
you so much,
talk
George.
soon.
It was a real pleasure. Real pleasure. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye. Maybe we could get Martina, George.
Isabella, you're up.
I am.
What do you want,
I'm in
what do you want to
housing.
leave us with?
I want to leave this, first of all, is that we talked a big amount about the education and the personal development space for us all. And this industry, if anything, whether people have stayed small time with a company, short time, long term, whatever time, one thing I've heard across all the 33 years in my space in this industry has been the value they got to being a better person in what they've learned from the industry, from the teachers, from the resources like your magazine, George. And I think people need to realize that the growth of how good we are in our income is the learning and the education that we've actually got from here. That's been the biggest thing. And I want the magazine to continue on and on and on and on and on and on and on forever. We want that happening. And really, because we have big celebratory moments, I just want to say to everybody that's here as well, is that we have another event going to be happening to celebrate the 200th edition in June on the 9th, that I want everybody to make sure that you are supporting the magazine that is supporting you. And I want to make sure that together you're all subscribed to a literally, when I say gold mine, literally of information. You literally open sesame and you are there, and the contributions that we've actually got in there is absolutely immense. And all the amazing contributors, including my little self too, in my pidgin English that I put in my penny's worth. And I just think it's amazing. And Debbie, she is also my right hand woman there, and she has been today interviewed on the Lady Leaders talk show, right? And that interview you all need to watch out and listen to the president's take on her life and her journey, because you will have, even George will probably end up tearing up with that when he hears that interview. But other than that, I just think amazing people, big love and big respect to each and every one of you. And as I always say, together, let's make a mark as we make a difference. And if we're going to make a mark, let's make a beautiful one. And that's what I'd like to say. I just want to thank you for having me, and I'm honored to be here with you all today. Thank you.
Well, let me leave you with a bonus, and that is that when we ended up starting this disruptive situation in the industry, we had two things that we knew we wanted to do. We wanted to bring in 1 million new people to support that had a dream, and network marketing was going to end up being a part of that dream, and it was going to be worldwide. So we have technologically been able to handle that kind of growth. But the most exciting thing about it is that in a blink of an eye, in a press of a button, all 3,700 articles in the last 200 issues will instantly be translated into Swahili or Mandarin or even German, all right, or even English, all right? So it really is a worldwide resource. It's morphed away from being a magazine, and it is an industry resource. So that's Debbie, my gift to all of you that have a dream. So I want to thank you all for being on the George MADIOU Show. I'm very, very excited to teaming up with your company, your movement, and you haven't seen the end of us yet. So, Ghazala, thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Ghazala. I love what you do for the industry. You're all about giving, and it means so much to so many.
Thank you so much, Debbie and George. And it means a lot for you to acknowledge me in this beautiful way. Russ, I love you with all my heart, as you know, right? We have journeyed to the end as we speak and know. And Stacy, my other lady in there in the leading space as well, doing her thing. And Cody, my girl, you are our up and coming shining light for many more. And everybody else in our leaders, you know, these are amazing people. And there are many more, George, I would say, and Debbie, the stories that we're about to share in the magazine of all these amazing people that's going to make transformational changes, and the highlighting that we got much more to do as well for all these people that have come in here and their teams. The magazine has every ounce of ammunition right up our sleeve to get that in the stories of the magazines and major contributors as well to it. So this is just the beginning, right? This is just the beginning of something new.
That's it.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. Thank you for attending, and thank you for just being you and doing what you do in your business. Thanks so much. Have a great day.
Thank you, everyone. That's a wrap. Another George MADIOU Show. Have a great day and God bless.